get it.
Please, our youths, listen, pay attention. We are now going to pull up Nina's information, Nina's video. You know, first we'll just show you what is happening in the town so that it will not be we are dealing with talking. We'll sample opinions. And then when we are done, we'll not tell you, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution. That's how we do it here. Lamentation, like my sister would say, is not a solution. Yelling and wailing is not a solution. Ignorance
Videos of dead bodies and burial, not a solution.
is not a solution. Ignorance is not a strategy. So you must be properly informed so that when you move as an adult that you are, you will get the expected outcome. For over 50 years, you're running in a circle, hitting your head on something that is closed because of lack of information. And we are here to meet the information need of this generation. All over Africa, all over the world, because our videos go round. We research properly and bring everything together. We show you what the problem is. We show you what the solution is. And we show you your part, the part you need to play, your role in solving the problem. That's what we do. That's what we are called, the Daughters of Truth. Thank you.
In response to the flurry of inquiries that have been coming to Nina's Secretariat concerning where we are in what we set out to do with constitutional force majeure, here's our response. Here's our answer. You will recall that the stated objective, the ground objective of the constitutional force majeure in the attempt to implement the consensus we had built against the constitution of death was to target the election as the venue for the fight for what will happen, to target that 2023 election in a manner that will collapse the election in circumstances that revolve around the constitution itself. That's we are rejecting the election on account of our rejection of that constitution and the unitary union of death it imposes on us in that order. Look at this domino 2, and if we back pedal to domino 1, you will see clearly coming from your right towards the left, you will see the pillar we marked election, the next pillar constitution, the next pillar union, and underneath the pillar of election you will see the lever of the alliance, the three blocks, focusing their efforts together. You see the arrow that they press, they pressure together in one direction to topple the election as a mark of their rejection of the constitution that make them slaves in their homeland. Our report today is that that strategic objective has been met. You may argue as you deem fit amongst those who do not know how such things are done. Those who were expecting people to, because when people heard about force majeure, they thought there would be riot on the street. The system was already sharpening its machete to behead people who are coming to do. They didn't know it was a very sophisticated thing that will put election in disarray. And we were saying it every day for 3 years. You see, this election, we'll do whatever we need to do to sabotage it from producing an outcome that will stand. And that is a mark of our rejection of the constitution by which the winner of that election will govern. And when that constitution goes down from the angle it will be attacked, then we'll come to the realization that we have no union. That union that is erected upon that constitution will go down with that constitution. Where are we today? The election went as badly as it could go, such that the system had to sacrifice the constitution to save the election. That was what the Supreme Court did in October of 2023. That was what INEC was doing at the time they were declaring the one who didn't win the election. They both waived the 25% required by that. It was the pressure from all the sides that they were just trying to rescue something from, because the people had woken up. Everybody was now doing things they would normally not have done before. And so bottom line is that the election went into a spin. The system had to sacrifice the constitution to save the election. And then we're interpreting their actions to them now. The union is at an end because the constitution that held it together, you buried it. Remember in the broadcast where we were telling them that if they chose to waive that 25%, it means that that constitution which we have been trying to put to death has now been abandoned to die on the street by the Supreme Court, and that we're going to join them. We are joining them. Where we're going now is that we're going to demonstrate that there's no union. And if anybody is wondering how we came to that conclusion, the National Assembly that wants to write a new constitution has only confirmed to all of you that the constitution by which we have been operating, by which we have been unionized against our will, is dead. That's why they're looking for a new one. If the constitution was still alive, they would be doing the amendments and boasting. And so the strategic objective for the constitutional force majeure, look at it: election down, constitution down, union down. The only thing remaining now, transition to go and rework the union in terms of who wants to federate. They will identify themselves by referendum. Then they will define the formations in which they are going to relate. That's what becomes the structure, whether they want to be in 4 regions or 6 regions or whatever be the formation, but certainly not 36 states. For the lunatics that are talking about carving out more of this, we are the vanguard of the campaign. NINAS is the vanguard framework for the campaign for self-determination for the constituent companies, meaning that little Isoko, little Ogun, little Ishekiri, all of them will be, in their space in that self-determination. They will be custodians and operators of their sovereignty. So to that extent, we will say confidently that Nigeria has been brought to where we wanted it to land. A logjam, a constitutional logjam. If anybody thinks that what happened on February 25 in 2023 has become basis for a 4-year presidential term that will not be challenged by anything, no. The election ended inconclusive. The outcome remains the interregnum. What you are celebrating as a president is, yes, there's somebody in government house pretending to be Nigeria's president, but the Supreme Court will not place itself. We will not allow, since the right to make constitution is exclusive to the sovereign constituent components, and we have laid a charge against the legitimacy of the constitution that was imposed on us. Nobody is able to make constitution and impose on us, including the one Absalom Abaka did. And so, if we are tolerating that for us to get peacefully to the table of discussion, and then the Supreme Court that is a product of that constitution will now abandon that constitution and place itself above the prescriptions of that constitution, we are the ones saying, let's take down this constitution. But until we get to that discussion table, we also said it in that our force majeure, let those who have not read that constitutional force majeure, for their own good, for their own sake, their ignorance will only afflict them, will only cause them to perish, like the Bible already condemned them. Because we stated clearly why we are saying what we are saying and why we are going to do what we are doing, what we are going to do. We said clearly that if after all the consultations we can't find common ground, then we'll step forward to where we reconsider our allegiance to that constitution. What is the meaning of a reconsideration of allegiance? Go and read the operative part. If you can't read all, read the operative part. where that 5-point proposition, were listed, from the word accordingly downwards, from the word accordingly. When you are reading some charter or some kind of resolution, when you come to the word accordingly, pay attention, because that is now the action that will follow from all of what have been laid out. And so we are saying that the constitutional force majeure succeeded 100% in its objectives in bringing Nigeria to that constitutional logjam. We are not at war. I think there's confusion, but at least we are still discussing. I mean, it's still being discussed. It may not be in a roundtable setting. There are people sitting in Abuja and talking over our heads about what they're going to do. There are others sitting or standing in Civic Center in Lagos saying, you must now call a meeting of the sovereign constituent components, who will have to decide how to reconfigure their union. And if they can't get it, if for any reason they are not able to find common ground, we must disperse forthwith. That is where the discussion is going on everywhere. But NINAS is trying to bring it to where it can produce an outcome. What is that outcome? Successor protocols. Whether as one political union or independent units of successor sovereign state entities that will emerge from the defunct Federation of Nigeria.
Okorobịa dị mma. They don't have a choice than to bow. Their 419 is not going to get them out of this one. They are so stuck.
Honestly.
My dear. Hagaricha. They will come back home.
Akufecha Odalawo.
Yes. If you want, stay in the wilderness for 500 years. You will come home. We are waiting. Eh? Your mother is waiting. Remember how when you behave bad, you get your mama and then when you go to bed, mama will come and pay you a visit.
Yeah.
So mama, we are waiting for you guys to run around the Sambisa forest. Don't stay there longer because I heard there is a market. Yes. I heard there's a Red Cross bringing you food. But run inside the forest. Look at where these non-entities, look at where they have left us as a nation. Look at where we are. A country full of oil and gas and other mineral resources. We can't even boast of 30,000 naira for salary for our people. 30,000 naira. When you, let me not get excited. Please continue to help us to hit the like button. We go nowhere. You know, we have not learned consistency and persistency. You guys by
force.
You will learn it by force. Yes. The right things must be done. Even if those right things are against me, as long as they are right, the standard is righteousness. Yes. No other way. We are not going to sugarcoat it, salt coat it, brainwash it, overnight it. The standard is the right things.
Yes.
Nobody's changing it.
You say?
Nobody. So pretend like all is well. Go for your elections. Go for your wedding. Be a governor of a state and go to another state and have a wedding for your child when you are a chief economics guy. Professor of economics. We are waiting
executive officer.
Continue the madness. Continue. Because your country is not moving forward. You're not going anywhere. You guys are just pretending because that's what people do. We are ostriches, right? When things are on fire, you put your head inside the sand while your whole butt and your whole body is sticking out. And you lie to yourself that you have protection. Judgment.
Mmiri dọ n'eju dọrọ nwa nkịta. Nwa nkịta pụta ọ ga-aṅụ mmiri adọ n'eju. Yeah. Akụfesịa, fechasịa, ọdalawo. Yes, those that don't understand Igbo, sorry, we're saying that you must follow process.
What is the alcohol? What is alcohol in English?
It's termite. The termite keeps flying. After flying, you will lose the wings and then be on the floor. When it's on the floor, that's when the frog and the toad, toad now, you'll be able to eat it. So as it's flying, it's doing okay. But in the process of that flying, it's going to lose the wings and then you'll be down. And then, so let the criminal politicians and their bedfellows, mega church leaders continue to fool around. You know what? Power belongs to
The
the
likes
people.
of Wike is turning our children into gang members. You're done with your so-called governorship. You're busy creating, what is it called? Different gang membership, just for you to remain relevant. And then your children are hanging somewhere in New York in your apartment.
One winter.
Killing our children.
Your time. The expiry date is very close. The expiry date is very close. We can assure you. We can assure you. Do what you're doing. The expiry date, your expiry date, you evil politicians and your counterpart church leaders oppressing our people for years, your days are numbered. Truth will set my people free. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope.